Is this thing recording? I guess it is. I wanted to make this video real quick because I kept on hearing these stories about in the news. Bill Maher supposedly disrespected Stan Lee, and I guess he did it on a blog. I was looking for the video on YouTube. There is no video, so I decided to find the blog. It's on the Real Time with Bill Maher website. You go on the blog, and I wanted to hear what he wrote. So this is what he wrote. I'm going to read it for you. It's titled Adulting. I've never read it, so we're going on this journey together. Damn, I should have brought some water. Okay, here's what it says. The guy who created Spider-Man and the Hulk has died, and America is in mourning. Deep, deep mourning for a man who inspired millions to, I don't know, watch a movie, I guess. Someone on Reddit posted, I'm so incredibly grateful I lived in a world that included Stan Lee. Personally, I'm grateful I lived in a world that included oxygen and trees, but to each his own. Now, I have nothing against comic books. I read them now and then when I was a kid, and I was all out of Hardy Boys. I was all out of Hardy Boys. What? But the assumption everyone had back then, both adults and kids, was that comics were for kids. And when you grew up, you moved on to big boy books without the pictures. But then 20 years ago or so, something happened. Adults decided they didn't have to give up kid stuff, so they pretended comic books were actually sophisticated literature. And because America has over 4,500 colleges, which means we need more professors than we have smart people, some dumb people get to be professors by writing the theses with titles like Otherness and Heterodoxy in the Silver Surfer. Now, when adults are forced to do grown-up things like buy auto insurance, they call it adulting and act like some giant struggle. I'm not saying we've necessarily gotten stupider. The average Joe is smarter in a lot of ways than he was in, say, the 40s, when a big night out was a Three Stooges short and a Carmen Miranda musical. The problem is we're using our smarts on stupid stuff. I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest that Donald Trump could only get elected in a country that thinks comic books are important. Interesting. So that's what he wrote. My first time reading it, and you know what? It doesn't sound like a diss to Stan Lee. I actually agree with what he wrote. He didn't diss Stan Lee. He just said that, adults aren't. I mean, I agree with this 100%. Because I actually listen. I love Stan Lee. I love the universe he created. I love comic books. I love the Marvel universe. I mean, shit, I'm almost 44 years old, and I will always love this shit. Stan Lee was what, 95? From what I'm reading here, he did not diss Stan Lee. He's dissing basically adult comic book fans. I don't even know if he's doing that. I mean, he's just stating a fact. We love shit, and I mean, and it's true. A lot of people pretend that it is like sophisticated literature. I personally don't like reading comic books. I've always liked the comic book world and universe, but I don't really read comic books, man. I just don't. It's not my thing. But I don't knock anybody who does. If you love comic books, that's your thing. My brother loves comic books, It's a cool little thing you're into, but I don't think, from reading this, I don't think Bill Maher dissed Stan Lee at all, man. He's just dissing the whole concept that people pretend that it's some sophisticated shit. And it is true. One thing I will say that I have been saying for years is that a lot of these comic book fans who are grown-ass people now, they become too critical of comics. They don't let comics just be comics. We forget that this stuff was initially created for children. So whenever somebody comes along and tries to change something, we get upset. Like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're ruining the integrity of the character. Come on, dude. It's a comic book. Don't take it too seriously. That's the only thing I have to say about that. There's too many comic book nerds who take it too fucking serious. And you can't be doing that. And I can't say I'm not guilty. I've done the same shit, but it's a fact. So my take on this is Bill Maher did not diss Stan Lee. He's just pointing out a fact, and that's it. So let me know what you think and see if you agree with me. And you can read it yourself. Like I said, go to the Bill Maher with a Real Time with Bill Maher and check out the blog. Ain't no diss here, man. You know, he's just saying adults decided they didn't have to give up kid stuff. I'm not going to give up kid stuff. What do you think? Let me know.